So thank you, dear devotees, for joining the second session of the Caitanya Charitamrita overview. I hope it's clear. Just let me know if the voice is not coming clear online.
It's clear.
Great, thank you. Okay. So this is the Caitanya Charitamrita overview, Adi Lila Part 2. The golden moon rises. See if you can spot the golden moon rising. The last time we traced the roots of the golden tree. Bhakti tree, remember? The trunk and the branches of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. We saw how he expands as Lord Nityananda, he expands as Advaita Acharya, Gadadhar Pandit, Srivas, and how the six Goswamis, the great Goswamis, were chosen to carry his mission forward into eternity. And the foundation was laid and the stage was set. But a tree is not meant only to be admired. It is meant to bear fruits. That's right. So today, we step into the living heart of the Caitanya Charitamrita. No longer are we speaking of expansions, genealogies, or philosophical frameworks alone. The curtain rises on the golden drama itself. The moon of Navadvip, hidden for so long in the horizon of anticipation, now rises. Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu takes his first breath in Shachi Mata's courtyard. Just imagine. His cries summon the holy name from every throat. His playful mischief enchants the devotees. And his youthful brilliance dazzles all of Navadvip. This is not just the appearance of a saint. This is Supreme Lord Krishna, the Supreme Lord Krishna himself. Yet he's cloaked in the color of Radharani. He's cloaked in the heart of Radharani, relishing and tasting her love for Krishna, distributing what no incarnation in the past has dared to give, the flood of Prema Bhakti. So let us now walk onto the streets of Navadvip Dham. Hear the joyous roar of Hari Bol on the banks of the Ganga and witness the wonder of the golden child who would soon shake the world. This is no ordinary story. This is the dawn of Sankirtan Yajna. This is the advent of Lord Gauranga. So we will sing just a few minutes. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Jaya Shri Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Jaya Gora Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Krishna Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Nitai Gauranga Jaya Nitai Gauranga Nitai Gauranga Jaya Gaura Hari Jaya Sachinandana Jaya Sachinandana Jaya Sachinandana Hari Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol golden moon is rising. So we are sitting here in the presence of the most beautiful Shishigornitai. You can see right here on the screen, right here in front of us, Shishigornitai. These Gornita deities personally put in New York, were installed in New York by Srila Prabhupada himself. And they're quite merciful and stunning, just being in the presence. Even if you just see their photographs on our ISKCON of New Jersey website, you'll be stunned. So picture this scene. This is the scene. The sacred Ganges, shimmering under the shadow of a lunar eclipse. It's going to be a lunar eclipse.
It's a real picture.
It's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
The people of Navadvip have gone to bathe there, waist deep in our waters. You've never seen this picture before, right?
No.
Yeah, that's because we just created it.
Right.
Every hand is raised, every mouth filled with the holy name. Hari, Hari, Hari. Bolo. Hari, Hari, Hari. Try that again. Hari, Hari, Hari. Okay. Yes. The sound is not a murmur. It's a thunderous chorus echoing across Navadvip. Even those who rarely remember God are now shouting his names with all their might. You know why? Because that's what you do during an eclipse. Even though those who hardly chant or never chant, but an eclipse comes, everybody does it because that's what's prescribed. So that's the time when Mahaprabhu invented when everybody is being forced to chant Hari. Think about that. And it is at this moment, amid this spontaneous ocean of kirtan, that the golden child Sri Gauranga makes his descent. Not in a jeweled palace, not with celestial fanfare, but in the home of Jagannath Mishra and Shachi Mata. In their simple courtyard, cradled by the chorus of the holy names. Most incarnations, they arrive with a mission to slay demons and to establish righteousness by force, right? Paritranaya sadhana, vinashaya chidushkritam dharma, this is like force. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came with a different weapon. What is that weapon? Kirtan, Sankirtan Yajna. He didn't kill demons with his Sudarshan Chakra. Remember that scene? Who did he kill famously with his Sudarshan Chakra? Shishupal, that's right. You see the painting where Shishupal is like,
Right.
and the head is like, 6 inches away from his body and his face is still like this? No, none of that. None. The enemies he targeted were not kings or armies, but the greed, lust, envy, anger, pride, the demons lurking in the human heart of Kali. These are in the hearts of pretty much every human being in Kali Yuga. And his sword was a symbol, Krishna. Krishna. And his shield was a congregational chanting, and his battlefield was what? Streets of Navadvip. He went on the streets. And we're supposed to take this to the streets too. So just as the sun dispels darkness simply by rising, so the golden moon of Navadvip appeared in the midst of an eclipse to eclipse the ignorance itself. Darkness is not destroyed by fighting. It is destroyed by light. Light. So Mahaprabhu didn't come to fight with earthly enemies. He came to flood the world with so much light that ignorance had just no place left to hide. And here is where it touches us today. The moment of his appearance was a house transformed by Kirtan. And not just the house, but everybody around. This means that our homes also, every one of us, our homes can be transformed magically, just like this. No matter how humble, our house can become Sachi Mata's courtyard. Whenever we fill our homes with the sound of the holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Every time we gather with family, with friends to chant, every time the Mahamantra vibrates through our rooms, the Lord himself manifests again and again. Yeah. If he chose not palaces, not temples, not royal courtyard, not royal palace, not royal halls, but a simple courtyard, if he chose that as his birthplace, then he's teaching us something. Remember, everything the Lord does teaches us something, including a choice of where he's born. That the supreme stage for his appearance is not the external luxury. It is the heart and the home of anyone who fills their life with Krishna. That's where he appears. So, Sachi Devi's father, his name is Nilambar Chakravarti. He was a great astrologer. And he prepared a horoscope for this child, the golden child reborn. And by astrological calculations, he saw that the child was a great personality. Now, before the birth of Lord Chaitanya, 8 daughters took birth. 8 daughters took birth in Mother Sachi's womb, one after another. But just after their birth, they each died. It was very tragic. So Jagannath Mishra was obviously very unhappy. It was really quite tragic, sad. Therefore, he was desiring a son, and he worshipped the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. Then Jagannath Mishra got the first son by the name of Vishwarup. Vishwarup was most powerful and highly qualified because he was an incarnation of Lord Balaram. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was a younger son, and he displayed many sweet childhood pastimes with a recurring message that chanting the holy name is a solution. And we'll see how he used the holy names to solve major problems. So, for your reference, the year was 1486. 1486 on our regular calendar that we calculate. So it's about 500 and almost 40 years, 539. Next year will be 540. So we're very precise. The month of Falgun, the constellation of Simha Rashi, Leo, the horizon. So he came, he would roar like a lion. Simha Rashi. So, as a child, he used to cause all the ladies to chant the holy name of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. He would cry. We're talking still an infant, he's not speaking yet. He would cry, and no matter what they did, he would stop crying. But if they chanted Hare Krishna, then he would stop. So they found out the solution. And when they chanted Hare Krishna, he would smile. Not to stop crying, he'd actually smile. So then, and when they stopped, even for a breath, no, they start crying again. What is the lesson here that Mahaprabhu is teaching as a baby? Always chant, of course. He's teaching, always chant. And that bhakti is very natural to the soul. You see, babies, they don't do unnatural things. Afterward, we may do cultural things to make, we train ourselves to do things that are maybe against our nature, maybe, to be disciplined sometimes, maybe against our nature. But babies don't do any unnatural things. So his point that he's making in this pastime is that chanting, connecting to Krishna, seeking out the Lord is a very natural thing, just like a baby would do. The soul's natural position is to be connected with Krishna through the holy name. And when we forget Krishna, we cry, exactly. We may hide our tears, but inside, if we forget Krishna, we are crying. That is the lesson. That's a good parenting tip. Raise children with kirtan, prasad, playful devotion that wards off so many distresses. All the distresses come in the mind, actually. The external things are not real distresses. But if the mind is already connected with Krishna, no problem. How often, this is a modern question now for us, how often do we pacify our minds when we're going through some stress? Do we pacify our minds with something other than the holy name? All the time. We don't think of the holy name as the solution to this particular problem. Why? Because we have lost touch with our natural connection. If our default reaction is a holy name to any issue, and really turning to it deeply, it actually works. We may not feel it right away, but it works. So Nimai's lesson here is nothing soothes like Krishna's holy name as a baby. Oh, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki. Then, of course, he started speaking. That's when all the trouble starts, when the kids start speaking, right? So one day, little Nimai was playing with his friends, and then Mother Sachi brought him a plate filled with sweet rice and delicacies, rasgullas and nice Bengali sweets. And she asked him, "You sit down here and eat." And then she went back to do her chores. But the Lord is always mischievous. Instead of eating the rasgullas and sweet rice, he started eating the dirt, handfuls, not even a pinch, like. And Shachi Mata returned and she was shocked. What is this? Why are you eating dirt? And what's making even more shocking is the whole plate of rasgullas and nice things. You're leaving that aside and you're eating dirt. She screamed at him and took the dirt from his hands. Lord was in tears. And he protested. "Mother, what fault is mine? What fault is mine? You already gave me a plate full of dirt to eat. Rice, sweets, this is all dirt anyway. They're nothing but transformations of earth. This is dirt, that is dirt. What's the difference?" I remember this one kid was like, I was in a grocery store and the mom was putting like orange juice in the cart. And then a little kid, maybe 3 years old, she was like, got a bottle of soda. "Mom, I want this." He said, "No, you're gonna have orange juice." "No, orange juice, orange soda, what's the difference?" You see? So what's the difference? So similarly, Chaitanya, so he was aggravating really his mom. And she said, "My dear boy, if we eat grains, our bodies become strong, nourished. But this crude dirt, it makes us sick. Can't digest it. There's no nourishment in that. Water," then she gives a philosophy, analogy. The water pot is made with clay, with dirt. You can carry water, but a handful of dirt cannot carry water. You cannot use it to cook something. Things have to be properly transformed for their true value to be realized. So here in this practical wisdom, the Lord smiled. "Why didn't you teach me this earlier?" Now I understand. No more will I eat dirt. Somehow Krishna likes eating dirt.
Yeah.
You know, he ate dirt even as his Krishna Lila. And he lied about it too. You know, in Krishna Lila, he said, "Naham bhakshitavanam ba sarve mithyavi samshina." All these boys are liars. He has dirt all over his mouth. Sarve mithyavi samshina. Yadi satyam girastari samaksham pashyami mukham. If you want to see the truth, come close, look in my mouth. And she saw the whole universe, and it's quite a fun thing. Krishna likes to do these things. What is the lesson here? It's a warning against Mayavad. Mayavad philosophy. This impersonal philosophy, it's as dumb as eating dirt. Because the same logic applies. It's incomplete. The logic is not solid. Proper transformation of matter in Krishna's service. That brings nourishment. Devotion brings nourishment. Not this idea that you can do without devotion to Krishna. So in this small act, Mahaprabhu revealed, even as a toddler, that he's not an ordinary child, but the Supreme Lord guiding his devotees even from this small age. Then once upon a time, there was this visiting Brahmana, a pilgrim. He came to Navadvip from a different city, and he was welcomed as a guest in the home of Jagannath Mishra and Shachi Mata. They gave him all the ingredients that he can cook, make an offering. And then the Brahmana had his Gopal Devi, and he prepared a whole elaborate offering, cooking the rice and whatnot. And he's about to, he'd already prepared it, and he was just saying his prayers, sitting in meditation. Oh, Brahmana Devaya Gopal. And little Nimai is glowing, golden, Cupid-like baby. Came in, started eating the boga with his lotus hands. It's Naivedya. In front of the deity. Like he's hadn't been offered, he hadn't finished saying his prayers yet. He started eating it. Make a mess also. The Brahmana cried out in despair. My whole offering has been ruined. I cannot eat this. And it's an offense to the Lord. And then he just fell, he just sat like that. And Jagannath Mishra said, no, you please, I'm sorry, my child is so naughty. You please cook again here, I'll give you a whole fresh everything. And reluctantly, the Brahmana cooked again. And just as he closed his eyes to offer the food, what happened? Again, naughty Nimai came. Jagannath Mishra said, oh my God, what are you doing? He locked him in the room. No more, you're so naughty, I told you not to do it. But of course, the Lord cannot be locked in a room. Even the third time, the Lord came out from the room and ruined the offering. And the Brahmana just broke down, crying. Hi, hi. That's what they say. In America, hi, hi means hi. This is different.
This is different.
Hi, hi means, oh, so awful, a terrible thing. Hi, hi. What is this fate? Today, the Lord refuses my worship, it seems. So I'm going to fast. I'm not going to eat even one grain. See, devotees don't eat anything that's not offered to the Lord. It's the message. And they don't offer to the Lord what is not offerable to the Lord. So today I'm going to fast. And that moment, the golden little child turned blue, picked up a flute and revealed himself. Says, oh Brahmana, do not lament. I am Krishna. Long time ago, I was the son of Yashoda in Vrindavan. And you came to Nanda Maharaj's home, and I disturbed your offering the same way. He used to call your deity, Lord Vishnu, and I would come. Today I'm pleased with your devotion, and I'm happily eating the food that you're offering me. You're calling me to take it, so I'm coming. And the Brahmana, of course, understood, and this is not a mischievous child. It's the same Krishna who has been worshipping not just this lifetime, through multiple lifetimes. It's not that in a previous life he is not a pure devotee. It's another thing to see. Pure devotees may not always be liberated in the spiritual world. They come to facilitate the Lila of the Lord. Chakhudan dilojai, janme janme. Mama janmani janmanishware bhavatat bhakti rahaitu kitoi. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, birth after birth, may I have your bhakti. So the Brahmana's heart overflowed with gratitude and divine joy. And what's the key takeaway for this? Nima is Krishna himself, that's very clear. It shows this is in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it shows his identity as Vrajendra Nandana Krishna. That's interesting too. Because Krishna comes in many forms. The original form is Brajendra Nandan Krishna, is as in Vrindavan. He accepts devotion. He's hungry not for the food, but for the love and devotion that it accompanies the food. The food is a vehicle to deliver love and devotion. So, and if he sees the devotion is there, he will run and he'll make a mess even, but he'll just really enjoy it. And he'll shake you, he'll disrupt your life in a very amazing way, positive way, spiritually uplifting. And another point is that these pastimes are linked to eternity. They're always happening. Because there's no beginning and no end. Ananta. Ananta means no end. And Anadi means no beginning. Hari Ananta, Hari Katha Ananta. So the continuity from Vrindavan to Navadvip is there in this pastime. You see, it's continuous, connected. And shows that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not different from that same cowherd boy of Raj Dham. So what is the takeaway for us? Whenever we prepare food with love and devotion, we can remember this pastime. That the Lord is so eager. You can remember the pastime of the Brahmana preparing. If something gets messed up, we can remember this for sure. My Lord, please accept this. I know maybe my heart is not the purest, but at least right now, this offering, I'm putting all the purity I have right now. That's important. We don't have to be fully pure at every moment in our lives. A pure devotee's life is a string of pure actions. You see? So if you have a string of purely motivated bhakti actions, then you do more of it and you get more purified. And you bring them closer to each other, then there's no room for anything impure. That's the idea of Krishna consciousness. That's what we can learn. This is a very sweet passage. We've done dramas on this quite a few times here in this temple. Now, if you've taken prasadam in the prasadam hall, you've seen this painting. I'll be wondering, what is this? Have you seen this?
Yeah.
How many years have you seen it, but you don't know what's going on there, right? Oh, what's going on? So I'll tell you the story finally, what this is about. Okay. So, Jagannath Mishra, seeing that his elder son, who's elder son? Vishwarup. Seeing that his elder son is grown and mature, he wanted to arrange Vishwarup's marriage. But Vishwarup was already very deeply detached from the material world. So he quietly left the home and took sannyas, wandering to holy places. So then Shachi Mata and Jagannath Mishra were heartbroken, obviously. But little Nimai, he consoled them. And with childlike wisdom, he told them, it is very good that Vishwarup has taken sannyas. For by doing so, he has delivered both his father and his mother's families. Because it's a major step, to give your life to Krishna. The guarantee is that your father's side, mother's side get delivered. Jai Shri Gauranta ki. So he said it's good that it's happened. It didn't make them feel that much better. But he continued. He promised, I will remain here to serve you. I'll get married. So sometime later, Nima had tasted betel nut prasad. You know betel nut? Supari. Yeah, you wouldn't know. It's only in India you get it. You don't get it here so much. It's not very popular. It's really hard. It's as hard as wood, actually. You have to crush it and slice it into very thin slices. And even that it has an intoxicating effect. Not really strong intoxicating, but apparently it was so strong, this particular supari, that Nimai fainted. This is the effect of that. Yes, he fainted. And then he revealed a mystical experience. He said that Vishwarup had come to him, urging him to accept sannyas. As Vishwarup is saying, Nimai, let's go. I'll give you $100. And Nima replied that for now, he must remain with his helpless parents, serving them as a dutiful son. And then he also has to become a householder, get married. So he'll please Lord Narayan by honoring his parents. Vishnu also pleased Narayan by taking sannyas. Both are pleasing to Narayan. It's not that. Then Vishnu blessed him and asked that countless obeisances be given to Mother Sachi on my behalf. So this is his communication via dream, okay? Via beetle nut. So now you look at that painting, you know what's going on, okay? Okay. So after some time, Jagannath Mishra departed from the world. And this left Mother Shachi and young Nehemiah heartbroken. Relatives gathered to console them. And though the Lord was the Supreme Personality, he humbly performed the Vedic rites for his father. And he thought, I have not taken sannyas. I must act properly as a grihastha. And without wife, household life has no true meaning. So I should accept a wife. Please, everybody, please my mother especially. So by divine arrangement, he met Lakshmi Devi. Her name is Lakshmi Devi. She's daughter of a devotee by the name of Vallabhacharya. Yeah. Not the same Vallabhacharya of the Pushti Marg. This is a different Vallabhacharya. Okay, so on the way to Ganga, he met her. And soon the matchmaker by the name of Vanmali Khatak, approached Mother Sachi and he arranged his marriage. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lakshmi Devi were married. So after his early marriage to Lakshmi Devi, do you know how old he was when he got married? Approximately. Yeah. He was about 14, something like that. Yeah. Yeah. Very young. So then, of course, when you get married, you got to do business or something. So like Brahmanas, what do? They do teaching, consulting. Consulting is a Brahmanical thing. Consulting means giving advice. So he started doing that. Became a scholar, and his brilliance as a scholar spread far and wide. He was very brilliant, right? Nimai Pandit. And so he became a teacher. He became the money, the jewel of teaching. So he trained everybody, but he trained everybody through the holy name of the Lord. Anytime he would teach something, a grammatical sentence, he would use the holy names to teach the grammatical points. So this way he also spread the holy names. Now what happened? He was traveling all over. He went to East Bengal. Today it's known as Bangladesh. That time was East Bengal. And everybody was very happy because he would spend a lot of time in that area. But his wife was not traveling with him, Lakshmi Devi. She was in separation. And she felt her life forces just leaving her body and coming back, leaving her body and coming back. And the Chaitanya Charitamrita described this as being bitten by a snake of separation. And one day the poison was too much to bear. And she departed the world, returning back to her eternal position at lotus feet as Lord in spiritual world. So of course, Mahaprabhu came back very quickly. Because he's super soul, he understands what's going on. So he rushed back right away, where he was giving solace to his overwhelmed mother, Sachimata. She was just overcome by grief. So here the Lord, he reveals his special quality of compassion as a perfect son. So having consoled his mother, he resumed his public role of teaching and all that. His brilliance became even more famous. His reputation soared even higher. He would defeat any scholars who would come in. So he knew that as long as he remained a grihastha, he had to have a wife. So he got another wife. He got married to Vishnu Priya Devi. She was another expansion of Lakshmi Devi. So this is the second marriage, of Vishnu Priya. So because he had become so famous, a lot of scholars around the world heard about him. So we know this very famous episode of Keshav Kashmiri. So on a full moon night, this is what happened. It's a full moon night. This Nimai Pandit, Lord Chaitanya, was seated with his students at the bank of Ganga, and he was delighting them with sweet discussions. At that moment, this Digvijay, this undefeated scholar, can you imagine, undefeated heavyweight champion, right? He traveled the world defeating everybody. All the Panditas had become his disciples because they couldn't beat him. So the Lord very humbly welcomed him because he knew he was so, famous. Well, all of you, please come and sit. All of you, he had so many disciples. Now this, even though he was welcomed so humbly, this Digvijay Keshav Kashmiri was puffed up with pride. And he mocked Nimai. I hear you are just a teacher of grammar to children. And yet your fame is spread. And then Nimai, with the gentleness of a boy, is still very young. He invited him. Yes, well, why don't you demonstrate your brilliance? We'd all love to see it. Right here is Mother Ganga. Why don't you glorify her? And in one breathless hour, without even taking a breath practically, he composed 100 verses, dazzling display of erudition, scholarliness, philosophy. Beautiful. At the end of that, Nimai Pandit praised him highly. Ah, ha, ha, wonderful. Wow. So amazing that only you and Mother Saraswati can understand what you said. Then, smiling innocently, Nimai asked him to explain just one verse in detail. Right? Now, of course, then the Lord, he repeated that verse verbatim. Can you explain this verse? First of all, the scholar was shocked. I spoke it so quickly. And you memorized this one verse? I said, no, I memorized all of it. Word for word. How on earth can you memorize this thing? And Nimai very humbly said, by the grace of the Lord, someone like you can be a great poet, and someone like me can become a Shrutidhar, just photographic memory. It's just the grace of the Lord. It's not me, anything special about me, although he's the Lord himself. Then the Lord pointed out gently, very humbly, no, Lord was never puffed up during this entire time. He was very sweet and just so beautiful. He gently pointed out that that verse, although it was ornamented with similes and alliteration, it had a number of technical flaws, problems. Flaws? What do you mean flaws? It was flawless. That's what he thought. But Mahaprabhu then he gave the 5 technical flaws, and he also explained the 5 ornaments he used in that verse. And his reasoning analysis was irrefutable. Nobody could beat Mahaprabhu's. Keshav Kashmir's intelligence had failed him at that time. And he realized that Saraswati, his worshipable goddess, had abandoned him. And instead, Saraswati was speaking through this young Nimai Pandit. So he was struck with wonder and he bowed down. Inwardly, he was sensing there's something divine about this child. But he was totally crushed. See? So some points for us to learn in this. Even if someone is an opponent in an adversarial capacity, we welcome them with respect. Respect. Even though Mahaprabhu was mocked disrespectfully, he offered respect back. He didn't mock him back. Somebody said, oh, you mock me? I'll show you my mocking skills. We don't have to do that. Mahaprabhu is saying, we don't have to do that. We don't have to come down to his level of being a jerk. That's a lesson for us. See? Nimai showered the poet with genuine praise. His praise was genuine because he praised him based on his accomplishments with the real. We don't need to flatter people, but we can appreciate someone's genuine qualities. And we should never hold back when you're appreciating someone's qualities. It doesn't hurt. It just helps that person, encourage that person, and helps the relationship. Another lesson he learned, he uses humility as his weapon, because nobody can defeat humility. It's very easy to defeat arrogance. Someone who's arrogant, someone who's humble, the crowd will support the humble person. Always. Just by nature. And if you position yourself, I'm just a boy, not so learned, yeah. Then that victory is not a conquest of ego, it's a glorification of the Lord. See. Another point from this pastime is that the true victory is transformation of the heart. Although the Digvijay was silenced, Nimai immediately stopped his students from laughing. Don't laugh. It's not right. His aim was not to embarrass. His aim was to uplift. Never make your aim in life to embarrass anybody. Sometimes we're very expert at embarrassing someone. We should give up that expertise. So the takeaways for us, this Lila shines as a beacon of how the Lord removes false pride and bestows his causeless mercy. It teaches us how to seek humility, especially when we get more knowledge. When the trees bear the pears, the fruits, the branches bend even lower. They don't walk like this. They're even more humble. See? So when we have more knowledge, we should bend down even more. And correct with compassion, not with ridicule. See? And to recognize that any brilliance we may have today is a gift of Krishna. We should not say, oh, this is mine. Whatever goodness we have, abilities, talents, skills, we should recognize Krishna's. And those who taught us, our gurus. So many gurus have taught us in this life. And the highest learning is not this grammar. It is surrender to Krishna. That's the highest learning. So after this, what happens? Keshav Kashmiri, he gets a revelation. He gets Lord's special mercy. And that night, Keshav Kashmiri worshipped Saraswati. And in the dream, she revealed to him that Nimai Pandit is none other than the Supreme Lord, Krishna himself. That's the dream, you can see. It's a very nice painting of the dream. And then so Nimai, this Digvijay came and fell at the feet of Nimai Pandit and surrendered to him. Very nice pastime. See, many pastimes, they just glossed over in 1 or 2 verses in this part. But this pastime has so many verses, so many details. That in itself is interesting. There's something for us to consider. Why did Krishnadas Kaviraj expand this one so much? He went into the details of every verse, like the analysis of the verse. You know, recently we had a katha on this pastime by Barendra Prabhu. And you know, several sessions just on this. And there's so many details. All of that comes from Caitanya Caritamrita. So that in itself is a lesson. So, then a turning point in his life, after his youthful pastimes as Nimai Pandit, he went to the place known as Gaya. Gaya. What do you do in Gaya? You go to offer pinda, the oblations to the forefathers. And there's also a very famous footprint of Lord Vishnu there. It's called Vishnupad. But in truth, this pilgrimage was the divine turning point in Mahaprabhu's life. What happened? This scholar, Nimai Pandit, transforms into the ecstatic devotee, Gauranga Mahaprabhu. And that happens because he meets with Srila Ishwarapuri. Ishwarapuri is a pure devotee and disciple of Srila Madhavendra Puri. So the lineage is there. And Madhavendra Puri is considered the fountainhead of all the mellows of divine love that culminated in Caitanya Caritamrita. So of course, this meeting was arranged by Providence. Really, that means arranged by Krishna himself. Because Ishwar Puri was to become the Diksha Guru of the Lord. So after their meeting, Nimai displayed the highest humility. And although he was the Supreme Lord, he approached Ishwar Puri like a simple seeker. He begged and begged to be initiated into the chanting of Hare Krishna. And with great compassion, Ishwar Puri accepted him as his disciple and gave him mantra. initiation mantra, Gopal mantra. Now, of course, immediately after receiving initiation, extraordinary symptoms became manifest in the Lord. His body trembled, tears flowed from his eyes, his voice choked, he lost all external composure. These are not emotions of a neophyte sentimentalist, but the deepest ecstasy of love of God, prem. This is the beginning of his transformation. And from this point forward, the world no longer would see just a brilliant logician or a scholarly teacher. They would behold a devotee consumed with love of Krishna, unable to pass even one moment, even one breath without chanting Hare Krishna. So when he returned home to Navadvip, the same symptoms of ecstatic love continued to overflow. Navadvip was the seat of dry logic, the school of logic, Nyaya, and scholastic pride. But this is about to be flooded with a tidal wave of pure devotion unleashed by Gauranga Mahaprabhu's heart. The takeaway for us in this pastime is the Guru Tattva. Guru Tattva, that even the Supreme Lord accepts spiritual master. And after Diksha, transformation happened. Another point is that pilgrimage. When you take pilgrimage, the purpose is to be closer to Krishna, not just to take photographs. It's really a turning point. It should be a turning point in life. When you take a pilgrimage, we should expect and plan for a turning point, a transformation. If you go with an intention, you'll get it. Now, amazing person comes in the picture. Navadvip was buzzing with rumors. A mysterious renunciate had arrived. A towering figure with lotus eyes, wandering barefoot, but radiant like the moon. They heard rumors, did not see him. So devotees started searching high and low until they found him at the home of Nandanacharya. When Caitanya and Nityananda, the two lords, finally met, it was as if the Ganges had met the ocean. They gazed at each other, tears streaming. Then they roared and they ran and embraced each other in a flood of ecstasy. And then Mahaprabhu revealed, he is none other than Baladev himself. And from that day on, the world would know them as inseparable Gauranitai. Shri Gauranitai ki! Yeah. The golden brothers destined to awaken all souls. Inseparable. You can see how much ecstasy Nitai is. Always intoxicated love of God. So gathering his companions, the Lord thundered the words that would echo through the centuries. Harer Nama, Harer Nama, Harer Nam Eva Kevalam. Kalau Nastyeva, Nastyeva, Nastyeva Gatiranyata. There's no other way, no other way, no other way. There's no penance, there's no sacrifice, there's no yoga, there's no other alternative. The only way is chanting of the holy name of the Lord. His voice rang with authority, but his eyes streamed with compassion. What a nice combination. Authority combined with compassion. Very rare. Usually someone is very authoritative, they don't have much compassion. And those that are very soft and compassionate, they don't have much authority. This is how it should be. In one verse, he gave humanity its lifeline. It's like a drowning man clings to that rope. All the souls of Kali cling to this one verse. Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam. Sound of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama. So in the stillness of night, Srivas Thakur's courtyard would transform into a spiritual universe. Remember we talked about Srivas Thakur last time? And so we got, in the Panchatattva, we got Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna himself, Nityananda Prabhu, who is Lord Balaram, Advaita Acharya, who is a combination of Mahavishnu and Sadashiv. Okay? Then Srivas Thakur, Nadmani, and Gadadhar Pandit is Gadadhar. So this is like you can imagine the incarnation of Narad Muni. This is his home. Narad Muni is amazing. Shiva's Thakur is even more amazing. So this is courtyard called Shiva's Angan. Angan means courtyard. And Mahaprabhu chose this courtyard. This is going to be my Kirtan zone, sthal. Right. So mridangas are throbbing and kartals chimed and they would sing. They'll have these secret kirtans. The Lord would dance with abandon, his hair standing on end, tears washing his chest, his golden form glistening with love. Devotees lost all sense of self. Imagine yourself now in Shiva Sangan. Okay? Real fast. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Gaur ki. So today, when we gather in a living room or a temple room and sing together, we are reliving Shiva's Thakur's courtyard, the birthplace of the Sankirtan movement. So this was during the early Navadvip Lila, at the height of the nightly Kirtan that Shiva's Thakur's home. This particular gathering was not ordinary. It was the Lord's inner circle. Who's in his inner circle? Lord Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita Acharya, Gadadhar Pandit, Shiva's Thakur, Namacharya, Haridas Thakur, and a handful of chosen devotees. The courtyard was still vibrating with echoes of Kirtan. And tears of joy had soaked the earth. Mridangas had been roaring like thunder. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had been dancing like a golden lion, thundering. Suddenly, a divine stillness overtook the assembly. The Lord stopped dancing and his chest heaving, his eyes brimming with an indescribable mood. It was in this sanctified silence that the revelation unfolded. Before the eyes of his most trusted devotees, Lord Chaitanya manifested a form that had never been seen before, his body shimmering with his unearthly brilliance. Two arms held the flute of Sri Krishna, recalling his eternal pastime in Vrindavan. Then two arms bore the bow and arrow of Lord Ram, revealing his Lila in Ayodhya. And then two arms held the danda and the kamandalu, sannyas symbols, pointing to his mission. He has not taken sannyas yet, by the way. That's interesting. So he showed his Shadbhuj form, that he is Krishna himself, the same Supreme Personality appeared as Ram in the Krishna in Dwapar. And now in Kali Yuga is incarnated to taste the golden heart of Srimati Radharani's love and to distribute the prem, the highest prem, to the entire world. Nityananda Prabhu recognized and fell at his feet, trembling and crying uncontrollably. Advaita Acharya roared, Hari Bol! So loudly the whole street started shaking. Gadadhar Pandit fell unconscious, tears pouring from his closed eyes. Because we know Gadadhar Pandit is Radharani, watching Krishna what he's up to. And Shiva's Thakur, overwhelmed, clutched the earth, crying out, what great fortune of ours it is to witness this. You can imagine. This is not a mystical display, merely something like, Maya type thing. It was a deep revelation meant for this inner circle. Not everyone in Navadvip was meant to see it, neither could they comprehend it. But only those whose hearts have been purified by surrender, by service, and affection were chosen to witness the secret. So what is revealed? That the combined purpose of all incarnations is Mahaprabhu. All the purposes of Krishna are there in Mahaprabhu's Lila. All the purposes of Lord Rama are there also. Killing the demoniac elements. This is the message here. And Prabhupada also frequently emphasized that this pastime shows the special fortune of Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Even the Devas, the demigods, pray to witness this special form of the Lord. Yet here the Lord is revealing his identity, not in Vaikuntha, but in a simple courtyard in Navadvip. This is special, very special. So what are our takeaways? Confidential association matters. We have to associate with our circles centered around Krishna. Find a circle or one friend even who really cares to progress in Krishna consciousness. And go deep in it. Our homes can become sacred spaces when it's filled with kirtan and purely motivated. It's amazing. And the aim of practice is prema bhakti, is beyond liberation. Tasting the mood of Radha and Krishna, that love. So this Shadbhuj Darshan is the beating heart of Adi Lila, this Adi Lila part. See, it sets a theological meaning, who is God. It sets that foundation for us. This is an important Lila, okay, for us to understand philosophically as well as in the Rasa platform, all in one. And another story, Murari Gupta is a gentle doctor, physician of Navadvip. And he used to worship Lord Ram with all his heart. And one day Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tested him. Why don't you worship Krishna? He is the Supreme Lord. Murari Gupta started crying. My Lord, I cannot do it. My heart is bound eternally to Lord Ram. To change this would be like cutting my heart into pieces. And then hearing this, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced him tightly. He says, you are glorious. Unflinching devotion is the essence of bhakti. You are loyal. So Murari's example shines as that loyalty to one's Ishtadev, the form of the Lord, is itself life's perfection. And then he revealed to him that Murari Gupta, you're actually Hanuman ji himself. It's very sweet. So by this time in Navadvip, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's nightly kirtan, Shiva Thakur's home, they spilled onto the streets, going on the streets. Sound of mridangas, conch shells, and kartalas, and voices crying, Haribol! 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 They thundered through the night. Night, yes. The kirtan swept through the city like a tidal wave, drawing brahmanas and weavers, and potters, and young people, and old men, and women, everybody. Everybody came. And the witness, Shri Gaur-Nitai ki! With their beautiful hands upraised just like this, and flooding the hearts of everybody with love. Of course, not all the hearts were rejoicing. The local magistrate, Muslim magistrate by the name of Chand Qazi, he felt that his authority is being threatened. How dare they go on the streets? Were they trying to prove that they have power, And he was influenced by some envious men, some envious Hindus also, who resented Mahaprabhu's growing influence. So Chand Qazi, ordered the kirtan to stop. And to enforce this, he stormed into a gathering of one evening, and he seized the mridanga and shattered it to pieces with his own hands. No more chanting in the streets. This is an actual photograph of a mridanga that was broken by Muslims who attacked our devotees in Bangladesh in 2021. I found this photograph. Anyway, so these things are going on. He said, no more chanting in the streets. And then fear rippling through Navadvip. But the Lord's devotees, they cannot be silenced. when the news reached Mahaprabhu, his eyes blazed, not with anger. He was momentarily angry. Then after that, the compassion. Compassion and resolve. This night, he declared, we will hold the greatest kirtan march ever seen. Let every man, woman, and child come forward, carry the torches, sing the names of Hari. Let the whole city resound with kirtan. And as the sun was setting, rivers of devotees flowed from everywhere. Every lane, thousands joined, torches blazing like stars, mridangas beating like war drums of love. Mridangas beating like war drums of love. The earth shook under their dancing feet, and the sky echoed with a cry of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. No protest in the history of the world was like this. It's non-violent, full of music, full of tears and transcendental joy. And with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at the head, the procession wound through the streets, and those who looked on were astonished. There was no mob of anger, but a vast ocean of bliss. Whoa. Instead of feeling scared, they want to join it. Like usually when there's riot mob, you want to close your doors and hide. They felt like they want to join it. Old grandmothers were clapping in rhythm. Children jumped and sang. Scholars chanted verses, Sanskrit verses. And common folk roared, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, as if intoxicated. Even some Muslims joined. It's so nice. They were not able to resist this magnetic tide of sound. At last, this ocean of kirtan surged toward the Qazi's house. The ground was shaking beneath this the multitude. And even the Qazi's guards were trembling now, because so many people. The guards were like freaking out. So inside, the Qazi prepared to meet the Lord. His heart was shaken by the vision he had seen the night before. Qazi was actually trembling at this point, remembering he had a dream the previous night. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu entered, glowing like a golden lion. His devotees fell silent as he approached this magistrate. Why? He asked with a calm and piercing voice. Why have you broken the drum and forbidden the chanting of Hari's name? Do you not know this sound is the life of all souls? The Qazi is humbled, folded his hands. My Lord, forgive me. That night when I broke the mridanga, I saw a terrible dream. A great lion leaped upon my chest, scratching me fiercely. The lion's eyes blazed, and his voice roared, How dare you stop my Sankirtan? If you do so again, I will tear you apart. As he spoke, the Qazi revealed the scratch marks he showed on his chest, still on his chest. Proof that the Lord's warning in his form as Lord Narasimhadev was real. So with tears, the Qazi confessed, from that moment, I knew you are no ordinary man. You are the Supreme Lord himself. I vow before you today, no one in my family line will ever oppose the Sankirtan movement again. And the devotees erupted in joy. They cried, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. And the Lord embraced the Qazi, declaring, from today, you are one of us. In that instant, the barrier between Hindu and Muslim dissolved. The magistrate became a devotee. And persecution turned into protection. Now he told his men, protect these people. Let them chant as much as possible. And true to his vow, there's a legacy even today. Even the descendants of Chand Qazi, down to modern times, have honored his word. They never opposed the Kirtan. And thus the Sankirtan movement flowed unobstructed every town and village in Navadvip area. And by the mercy of Prabhupada, every town and village across the globe. So what is our takeaway? This is the world's first great Kirtan protest march. It's an uprising of joy against oppression. The Lord doesn't fight with weapons, but he floods the street with the sound of God's names. So in our lives too, when opposition comes, the greatest weapon is Kirtan. No law, no predict, no enemy can withstand the force of the pure chanting of the names. Another couple of pastimes. So every night the Lord would meet in Shiva's Pandit's house. We talked about that already. And blissfully chant the holy names and dance. And the Lord would say, lock the doors, keep the envious people out. One night while chanting and dancing in the outer courtyard, Shiva's son passes away, little boy, passes away in the inner chambers of the house. Shiva's Pandit came out from the Kirtan. Kirtan was still going on. Came out from the Kirtan and went inside and pacified his wife and his relatives who were crying and they're lamenting. He said, the boy is very fortunate to have died while the Lord's holy name is purifying everybody. It's very auspicious. And he told the ladies, restrain yourselves. Don't disturb the Kirtan party. Can you imagine? Like his son has died, he said, but don't spoil the mood right now. Don't tell anybody. So a few hours later, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu understood that some calamity has occurred. He stopped the Kirtan, and upon seeing the dead boy, he talked to the boy and asked him, why did you die? And the dead boy started speaking. I lived in this house as long as my destiny allowed. My time here is finished. And now, according to your direction, I will go elsewhere. I am simply your eternal servant, my Lord. And beyond your desire, I cannot do anything. So the boy's words filled Shiva's Thakur's family's hearts with transcendental knowledge and removed any lamentation that they had over his death. Mahaprabhu consoled Shivas. He said, Shivas, you have lost one son, but Lord Nityananda and I are your eternal sons. How sweet. And we'll never give up your company. This shows that everyone has an eternal relationship with Krishna as his servant, his friend, his father, son, conjugal lover. We have some relationship with Krishna. We all have one. That will never be gone. These other relationships, time will take them away, maybe after a long time or untimely. But it's going to happen. It's inevitable. So if we revive our relationship with Krishna, by the grace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, our eternal relationship will never break or cause any kind of lamentation. So towards the close of his Navadvip pastimes, Chaitanya met Keshava Bharati. This saint would later on bestow upon him the sannyas order. Sannyas is renunciation. The meeting was brief but momentous. This happened in Agra. Is a foreshadowing of the next step of his life. So the joyous nights of private kirtan, they were going to stop. It's changed. And give way to a life of sacrifice, public preaching, public mission. So this chapter ends with a haunting note. Soon, the Golden Lord will shave his beautiful hair and he'll put on the robes of a sannyasi, set out to rescue the world. So this last chapter of Adi Lila, chapter 17, is like the climax of the play. Miracles, tests of faith, enemies turning to friends, families purified, and the Lord preparing for his greatest sacrifice. It leaves us on the knife's edge. Navadvip is rejoicing, but the world is waiting. So the entire Caitanya Caritamrita is divided into these three divisions. Adi Lila, which is what we are wrapping up today, describes Mahaprabhu's household life, from birth to household life. Then the next book is Madhya Lila. There'll be 2 sessions on Madhya Lila and 2 sessions on Anti Lila. So Madhya Lila starts at age 24. It's all about sannyas. He takes his sannyas. The first 6 years of his sannyas life are called Madhya Lila. And he's teaching the 6 Goswamis. So we'll get more into the teachings in those middle years. Madhya means middle. And Antya means the end, conclusion. In the final years, he spends his time in Jagannath Puri from age 39 until his disappearance at age 48. So you get a high-level framework of the 3 books, okay? So let's summarize. I'm just going to summarize real quick. The key pastimes we covered in Adi Lila. Appearance of the Lord. He came during the lunar eclipse. Everybody's chanting Hari Hari. And then he got initiation at Gaya by Ishwara Puri. Ishwara Puri, disciple of Madhavendra Puri. Good. And upon receiving this, he manifests intense bhava bhakti, the tears, trembling, and longing for Krishna. Then he meets Nityananda Prabhu. So chapter 17 has a lot of these pastimes, the final chapter. A lot of these stories are all in one chapter. He meets Nityananda Prabhu, and that meeting is explosive with kirtan and tears and transcendental ecstasy, inaugurating the unstoppable Sankirtan movement. Then the Shadbhuj Darshan, the 6-armed form of the Lord, is revealed to everyone. Then he speaks the very famous verse, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama Eva Kevalam, Kalau Nasti Eva Nasti Eva Nasti Eva Gatiram. This triple repetition establishes Nama Sankirtan as the prime dharma for Kali Yuga. Then we learned about the kirtans at Srivas Thakur's house and his courtyard. And those kirtans became the seed of the global Sankirtan movement that we are still pushing today. It's upon us to keep pushing this seed. And we learned about Murari Gupta's devotion, his loyalty to Lord Ram. Chand Kazi's transformation, quite an amazing story. He saw Nrsingadev. We all saw Nrsingadev recently. If you've seen the movie, amazing. Amazing, you should go watch it. No, it's still there. Is it done? It might still be there. You have to look for it. Do it. Yeah, it might be there still playing Brunswick or Plainfield. Or you can watch it maybe even here in Willowbrook Mall or some Wayne. If you're good at Telugu, you can watch it in Telugu. I'm just teasing. I'm sure your Telugu is a little rusty right now, but yes. And then we get a glimpse of the Lord's sannyas. Yeah? That's how it ends. So that's the summary of the key pastimes. The key personalities we met, of course, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Nityananda, Srivas Thakur, Shashi Mata, Jagannath Mishra. We met them this time. Gadadhar Pandit, Keshav Kashmiri, Lakshmi Priya, Vishnu Priya, the wives. Okay, Kamala Mokhi Mataji just confirmed that is playing in New Brunswick in Hindi and Telugu, so you can choose whichever.
I have to check, I think the times.
Yeah, you should. So yeah, check out the timings. Yeah. Then Keshav Kashmiri, Lakshmi Priya, Vishnu Priya, Murari Gupta, Chand Kazi, Ishwar Puri, Keshav Bharati. So these are the key names that we came across. Right? And the philosophical points that are taught in this section, just a high level philosophy. The supreme authority of the holy name, we saw that. Guru Tattva, the role of Ishwara Puri, right? The power of association. The Lord surrounds himself with pure devotees in Shiva Sangan, demonstrating that satsanga accelerates your bhakti. When he took initiation from Ishwara Puri, he demonstrates that the necessity of accepting a bona fide spiritual master and the transformative effect that acceptance has. The formal acceptance is very important because he's declaring to Krishna, no, I'm making a declaration of formal connection. That's why Krishna himself does it. Otherwise, it's not considered solid. Then unity and diversity. There's so much diversity of rasa. Madana-gopāla, you worship Lord Ram. This is your worship. Worship the Lord is fine. Main thing is you're worshiping the Lord. You're not worshiping some demigod or something. And fearlessness comes from devotion. Fearless in front of Chandkazi. Chandkazi is ruling the place, but there's no fear, even though he broke the mridangas. Because they know the Lord is behind them, he's going to protect them. So a lot of philosophical points to take away. I'm going to recap just the chapters. Chapter 13, we did, the last session we did from chapter 1 through 12. This session we went from 13 to the end, which is chapter 17. So chapter 13, Advent of the Lord, the night of the lunar eclipse, the tidal wave of Hari chanting along the Ganges. Supreme Lord appears in Navadvip to inaugurate Sankirtan. So the appearance is chapter 13. Appearance of the Lord is not like chapter 1 of Adi Lila. It's all the way in chapter 13. The first 12 chapters are invocation. Then 14, early childhood pastimes, divine mischief, and so on. He enchanted the residents of Navadvip. Chapter 15, he accepts initiation at Gaya. He meets his guru, Ishwar Puri, receives mantra diksha, immediately manifests this ecstatic bhav for Krishna, love for Krishna. 16, beginning of Sankirtan movement. He returns to Navadvip, he's transformed now. All he's interested in doing Nam Sankirtan, gathering associates, revealing his mission to awaken everybody's dormant love of God. The last one, many pastimes happen. Meeting of Nityananda Prabhu, reveal his 6-armed form, defeating Chandkazi, honoring Madana-gopāla, preparing for sannyas. So we have covered Adi Lila. Haribo! But we're not done yet because quiz time. Remember this? You did a quiz. So let's see if you're paying attention or you're falling asleep. All right. All right, a few questions, just a handful. What was the primary significance of Lord Chaitanya's initiation by Sri Ishwar Puri at Gaya? 1, he became a renowned scholar of Nyaya. 2, he exhibited ecstatic symptoms of love of Krishna. C, he began his plan to conquer India politically. Or D, he received the title Nimai Pandit. B. Anyone? B. What is that? He exhibited ecstatic symptoms of love. See if that's correct. Yes, that's correct. Haribo. Yes. Dennis said it's B. Good job, Dennis. This is a different Dennis, by the way, not the Dennis who lives over here. This is Dennis Mugo. Dennis Mugo, that's his name. Yeah. Okay. Next one. In the Chand Kazi episode, why did the Kazi reverse his ban on Kirtan? 1, he feared Chaitanya's political influence. 2, he received a warning in divine dream from Narasimhadev. C, the king ordered him to lift the ban. Or D, he wanted to become a devotee immediately. B for boy. Let's see if that's correct. Yes, that's correct. He received a warning in divine dream from Narasimhadev. Haribo. Pretty graphic. Thank you. Prabhu says B, Haribo. Dennis, your previous answer is also correct. It's just the same. It's B. Okay, next question. Which of the following best explains the theological meaning of Lord's Shadbhuja, 6-armed form? A, to show his power to his enemies. B, to reveal that all avatars, Ramakrishna and Chaitanya, are united in one. C, to convince scholars to respect him. D, to symbolize the 3 modes of material nature. B. Okay.
Why all the answers?
B for one. I don't know. It's weird, right?
B for bona fide.
Okay. Dennis says B again. Okay, Dennis. Haribo, let's see if you're correct. Yes.
Haribo.
Haribo. The next one is not B, I guaranteed. Unless, well, the next one is not B because it's not a multiple choice.
Put in the blank.
Yes.
B.
Fill in the blank. Lord Chaitanya met his spiritual master Ishwar Puri at this place where he accepted initiation and began displaying ecstatic love for Krishna.
Yeah.
Gaya, Gaya. Yaad aa gaya. I don't have subtitles, sorry. Hare Krishna, good job. Okay. I think there might be one or two more. In response to the Qazi's ban on public kirtan, Lord Chaitanya organized a historical torchlight procession demonstrating the power of Sankirtan. Anybody have any other thing? Power of Nam Sankirtan. Haribol. Good job. Good job. Right. Okay. Everyone on Zoom is also answering correctly. Thank you. Murari Gupta's refusal to give up his exclusive devotion to Lord was praised by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the highest example of loyalty and bhakti. Lord Nashidev? Ram. Ram. Haribol. Wow, all you got it all correct. Thank you. You know everything. Srila Prabhupada ki. So, let us now transport ourselves. Let us now transport ourselves back to, imagine Shiva Sangan, yes. Where the Lord is now really getting warmed up and he's expressing his joys, his ecstasies, and he's sharing with his inner circle. So this is all our inner circle, those who joined today on Zoom and those who joined here. Huh? No, you can play, it's fine. It's fine. So I'll just clap in the hands. You can play. Okay, so please direct your attention towards Shishi Gaur Nitai, who are right here. They are literally here and they are experiencing ecstasy, okay? On the altar as we chant. The best form of worshipping your Gaur Nitai, the picture of Gaur Nitai at home or your deity of Gaur Nitai at home, the favorite form of worship is chanting with pure heart. But chant, just put all the other tension on the outside and chant with great joy, okay? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Jaya Sachi Ramana Jaya Sachi Ramana Jaya Sachi Ramana Jaya Sachi Ramana Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, So thank you all very much for joining. Our next one will be Madhya Lila, but it'll not be next Sunday. It'll be almost a month from now, September 21st. We take a little break, but you can read ahead. Nothing wrong with that. There's lots of material to be covered. You see, we covered in a very short time the whole book, Adi Lila. We covered the main points, but the details are in the book, so please read that. In the meantime, you can also read Madhya Lila and Antya Lila also. The idea of this course is to get you a little sampling, a taste. This is just a trailer. The whole movie you have to watch yourself. So go watch the whole movie by opening Caitanya Caritamrita and reading. The idea is that you get some flavor of what's available, and then you can dive into it and learn more. And thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Shri Gaur Nitai ki. Hare Bol. Hare Bol.